The Law of One, Book 2, Part 22, Session number 36, March 10, 1981. Ra. I am Ra. I greet you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. We communicate now. Questioner. In previous communications, you have spoken of the mind-body-spirit complex totality. Would you please give us a definition of the mind-body-spirit complex totality? Ra. I am Ra. There is a dimension in which time does not have sway. In this dimension, the mind-body-spirit in its eternal dance of the present may be seen in totality, and before the mind-body-spirit complex, which then becomes a part of the social memory complex, is willingly absorbed into the allness of the one Creator, the entity knows itself in its totality. This mind-body-spirit complex totality functions as, shall we say, a resource for what you perhaps would call the higher self. The higher self, in turn, is a resource for examining the distillations of third density experience and programming further experience. This is also true of densities 4, 5, and 6, with the mind-body-spirit complex totality coming into consciousness in the course of 7th density. Questioner. Then would the mind-body-spirit complex totality be responsible for programming changes in catalyst during a third density experience of the mind-body-spirit complex so that the proper catalyst would be added, shall we say, as conditions for the complex changed during third density experience? Ra. I am Ra. This is incorrect. The higher self, as you call it, that is, that self which exists with full understanding of the accumulation of experiences of the entity, aids the entity in achieving healing of the experiences which have not been learned properly, and assist, as you have indicated, in further life experience programming, as you may call it. The mind-body-spirit complex totality is that which may be called upon by the higher self aspect, just as the mind-body-spirit complex calls upon the higher self. In the one case, you have a structured situation within the space-time continuum, with the higher self having available to it the totality of experiences which have been collected by an entity and a very firm grasp of the lessons to be learned in this density. The mind-body-spirit complex totality is as the shifting sands and is in some part a collection of parallel developments of the same entity. This information is made available to the higher self aspect. This aspect may then use these projected possibility vortices in order to better aid in what you would call future life programming. Questioner. Out of the Seth material, we have a statement in which Seth says that each entity here on earth is one part of our aspect of a higher self or oversoul, which has many aspects or parts in many dimensions, all of which learn lessons which allow the higher self to progress in a balanced manner. Am I to understand from this that there are many experiences similar to the one which we experience in the third density, which are governed by a single higher self? Ra. I am Ra. The correctness of this statement is variable. The more in balance an entity becomes, the less the probability vortices may need to be explored in parallel experiences. Questioner. Do I understand from this then that the higher self or oversoul may break down into numerous units if the experience is required to what we would call simultaneously experience different types of catalysts and then oversee these experiences? Ra. I am Ra. This is a statement we cannot say to be correct or incorrect due to the confusions of what you call time. True simultaneity is available only when all things are seen to be occurring at once. This overshadows the concept of which you speak. The concept of various parts of the being living experiences of varying natures simultaneously is not precisely accurate due to your understanding that this would indicate that this was occurring with true simultaneity. This is not the case. The case is from universe to universe, and parallel existences can then be programmed by the higher self, given the information available from this mind-body-spirit complex totality regarding the probability, possibility vortices at any crux. Questioner: could you give me an example of how this programming by the higher self would then bring about education through parallel experiences? Ra: I am Ra. Perhaps the simplest example of this apparent simultaneity of existence of two selves, which are in truth one self at the same time-space, is this: the Oversoul, as you call it, or higher self, seems to exist simultaneously with the mind-body-spirit complex which it aids. This is not actually simultaneous, for the higher self is moving to the mind-body-spirit complex as needed from a position in development of the entity which would be considered in the future of this entity.